Hi crew, I'm Lex. Today we're going to speak about boxes and expectations. It's always good if you love something to also be critical of it. Look at what's wrong, what could be improved, and say, hey look, this isn't always a right thing. So today we're going to look at some boxes from the seeker keyword. So we've got the core box for Jedsa, we've got Ostera and Twee, and we've got the Damned. And the Damned is what's interesting. So Malifaux, we've only got 3 sizes of boxes these days. We've got the core box, or a box for like larger models, or some large models and some small models. There's variety out there. It's really good. Then we've got this sort of size box here, which is usually for single models, sometimes like a 2-box minion sort of thing, but usually on the smaller side or single stuff. And then we've got the medium-sized box. It's really clever. These guys all fit into the same sort of form factor on the shelf. When Weird moved from 2nd to 3rd, they talked about reducing SKUs and merging some individual boxes this sort of size into this sort of size box, or this sort of size box. Like the guild box with the mounted guild guard and the guild hounds, that used to be in this box and this box, and is now in a box this size from 2nd to 3rd ed. So that's really useful, but it also sets expectations. So if we have a standard human-sized model on a 30mm base, usually 1 or 2 of those in a box like that. For these boxes, we'd expect a larger sort of model, either on a 50 or 40mm base, several 40mm models, or some smaller human-sized models, and then 1 of the larger ones. So we've got some variety there. To illustrate that, this box here from Molly's keyword, The Lost, 3 human-sized models on 30mm bases, children-sized models, they're a bit smaller again, and Archie, who's on a 50mm base, bigger model. That's sort of what we'd expect. We've got Silent Strike, the 10 Thunders Vista with 3 Samurai, and the Lone Swordsman, again, pretty standard. And we've got Off the Deep End for Maxine's keyword, EVS, with Calypso Mark II and Dr. Bebe. So if we look at the art between 2 contemporary boxes, the Damned and Off the Deep End. The Damned, according to the lore, was December's first attempt to make a Blessed of December. So there we go. Long ago, the Damned was the first to be remade into something more by the Tyrant December. So this is the prototype for the Blessed of December. That's really cool. Blessed of December has stayed about the same size between like 1st and then 2nd and 3rd uses the same model, about the same sort of size. So on a 40mm base, larger sort of model, this isn't a Blessed of December, but it's a similar size model. Blessed is a little bit taller, wider, but same. I'd be expecting something this size. So if we're looking at the art on the back, the Damned doesn't look like that. It sets the expectation from this art to be a much bigger model. And looking at sizing, the scales off here, they're much smaller than Archie. These guys are about the right sort of size. We don't talk about the scale of this guy kneeling being as big as the guy standing. That's a different story. That's back from 2nd ed. But back to here. This art on the back sets an expectation that the Damned is quite a bit bigger than he is. He's only on a 40mm base. So either he's going to overlap that base heaps, or this isn't quite accurate. And looking at this, Calypso Mark II should be on a 50mm base. But if we look, this box is jam-packed. Calypso is stuck. Calypso is massive. Calypso is a big model. Like, you've got Dr. Bebe hiding in the back there, but that's massive. And then we open up the Blessed of December, and he's that big. I mean, that's the right size for a 40mm model, but something doesn't seem right. And so it's important sometimes to be critical of companies and the way they do things. This guy here could easily have been in this box. So ideally, this size box with Austere, Twiggy, and the Damned would have been a better choice for Weird. So, and if we look at Austere and Twiggy, they're really tiny. So both of these easily could have gone into a medium-sized box. Twiggy's almost small enough, if she was released in 1st ed, to go in a 1st ed box. So why have we done this? Possibly it's because the Damned is 2 keywords. He's Savage and Seeker, so Euripides and Jedza. So maybe that's the logic between splitting the two from Oyster and Twiggy and the Damned into separate boxes rather than carrying them in one. But as Weird goes forward, we're seeing a lot of like twin keyword boxes with the titles. There's 1 or 2 other things out there. If it was me, if they were going to do a relaunch at some point, I'd like to see the Damned and Twiggy in a single box. Save on materials, save on shipping, possibly force those Savage players to buy another box for a miniature they don't need. That's something businesses usually do. What's the deal? Should Weird have done 2 small size boxes rather than 1 medium and forcing Savage players to buy a Seeker model they'll never use? Is it right? Is it wrong? Just an opinion. I would personally prefer this. It's fine with me. The Damned in this box. If that picture wasn't so misleading. That's a big difference. Like, look at the massive rack on that guy. Its model here, the render, is about twice the size of what we're getting in the box. And Calypso, render's only half the size of this massive chonker. It just would have been nice to see this in a smaller box. And that's not going to happen now. That's maybe like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. If there's a 4th edition, maybe we'll get that. But for 3rd ed, this is what we've got. And I just find it interesting and just putting it out there. Thanks for watching. Let me know your opinions. What do you think? Oh, but also, conspiracy time. What's this? The Damned shares a sprue. Twiggy shares a sprue. There's another part of these sprues from something else which is EVS. And I've seen some posts on the Weird Place about what they could be. I haven't found anything which matches up precisely, like with width measurements and other SKUs. Same with Vernon and Wells. They've got a similar thing. I'm fighting to untangle this. And Calypso is like literally bigger than would fit in one of the big boxes. Like, we know they cut down sprues, and now we know that they're producing big size sprues with multiple minis and then cutting them into different size boxes. It's on the end of these. It's likely to be another Explorer's model, but it might not be. Like, there's been some pictures of a translucent green flying pig. That's never been released by Weird, but some people got them when they got surprise boxes of translucent green zombies. So it's like, what are we missing there? Like, what's the secret of like shared sprues? Like, what's the family tree? I'm super interested in this. Let me know your thoughts and comments. Thanks for watching. Bye. See ya. Ciao. Like, comment, subscribe. Shh.